These nuts. Live chat. Okay, there you go. Peanuts. Peanuts and ham make me happy. Peanuts and ham make me happy. Peanuts and ham make me happy. Peanuts and ham are nutritious and well balanced. Peanuts and ham are nutritious and well balanced. Okay, I think the audio works well enough. Oh boy. Hey there. Hey there. Another little bit of a live stream. I know I did one yesterday. Went off on a tangent on binary and non-binary people. That was kind of a fun thing. But today I thought I'd do just a little bit of a live stream on the floor here. Now I'll do another one here on the floor. Got a close-up pad here. Got some eggs. Got some protein, and also got some of this here. Hold on. Right there. You see that? Doing my standard Xavier impression here. Just pretty much doing a preview, a little bit of a hot preview of what's coming up on the channel, and also talking about what's today's video. So today's video, I did a little bit of a hot production. That's from Svengali, not Svengali. Sorry, from Svengali, from a Sybil cut. So the idea of that production is just based on one of the first basic Sybils. Let me see if I can do this correctly. But that's pretty much the idea of that, which is kind of a hot little move there. But the thing about the Sybil is that's one of those simple cuts that really makes it look like you know what you're doing. But I use the finger deck. Well, the finger deck's in the other room, man. This is happens to be the Cardistry fuckboy Cardistry deck that I happen to have near me right now. German. I was legit listening to Dancing by Aaron Smith, and as soon as the part where it says "Get up on the floor," the notification. No, yeah, I'm actually in tune with your room. That's my secondary camera. I have one camera looking at the front door, and my other camera looking at your front door. That's the way it works. What's going on with your lighting? The bulb losing its power? I don't think so. I think it's pretty fine. All right, it's one of those. It's one of those Christmas memes, right? It's been I enjoy the aesthetic. I enjoy the aesthetic of that. But today's video was pretty much on that tip. It's one of my favorite sort of productions that really looks like it's a lot more complicated than it is. But I first learned that Sybil move from School of Hard Knocks. School of Hard Knocks with Rodney Reyes. He had this cut. It was that sort of bit. That was his version of the Chris Kenner's Five Faces of Sybil, right? Fairly simple cut, but it always was one of the ones that kind of resounded with me for its simplicity. And then he also had a bit of a production, if I remember correctly, from back in the day that was from that position too. But this is just done from a production of the bottom card. But the only downside to this particular production is that when you do it, you pretty much lose track of the bottom card. So you lose track of the bottom half of the deck. So when you do it, notice that the bottom half of the deck doesn't go back to new deck ordered. However, the top card is preserved. So this card, if you want to keep it, much like in the routine, is preserved. However, the bottom stock, as you can see right now, it's the 10 of diamonds. Now that 10 of diamonds gets produced, and the bottom half gets a little bit of a hot cut. So that's that bit from today. Next video is going to be a triumph. Next video is going to be a little bit of a triumph routine. Something that I really, really like. For some reason, people tend to like triumphs, at least on my videos, right? Is Butcher the Pig RB? Is this another potential suspect in the Butcher the Pig saga that it's RB? For knowing my exact mark of bike, Hyosung Aquila 250cc or Harley Sportster Iron 833. Well, seeing that my bike is a Hyosung Aquila, I would say that that's the one I have more experience with. So I would know that that one's a reliable Korean bike, even though it's an imitation. It's an imitation of the Shadow, I think the Honda Shadow. But as a matter of fact, some of the parts of the Hyosung look like chrome, but they're plastic. So that's kind of one of the funny bits. But it was a very cheap bike, and it's something I've had for years. So it's fairly reliable. All hail Virgin Leader Piggy. Nice. All hail Virgin Leader Piggy. That's me. That's I'm the king of the virgins here when it comes to magic tricks, especially those done on the floor. Those done on the floor. The reason I'm on the floor, by the way, is just because I don't know. It's closer to the charger, right? A lot of the Hyosung parts are Suzuki. I didn't know that. I know that at all. I know the oil filter is a Suzuki. I know because I did that shit the other day. I didn't replace my oil for a little while. But right now what I actually need to do is replace the spark plug. But one of the unfortunate downsides of the design of the Hyosung is that the fucking spark plug is underneath the gas tank. So I'm going to have to lift that entire shit up, which isn't hard, but it's laborious and I really don't want to do that. You know, so I have to pick an afternoon to replace the spark plug because it's giving me issues. I remember one of the big issues that I had with it was that, you know, when you put the kickstand, it kills the engine, right? So you put on the kickstand and it kills the engine. The wire that was on the kickstand to tell the motorcycle to shut the engine off, it kept fucking, for some reason, the wire was corroded or some shit. So I would be on the highway, and this was one particular time. I was on the highway, and the motorcycle kept shutting off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. And lo and behold, it was the peg switch, you know, the kickstand switch. So I had to rewire it so that the switch is so the switch didn't turn it off. So now when I do the kick stand, it doesn't turn off the bike. So that's kind of it's a life hack. I have to rewire it. That was fun. I didn't know I have two spark plugs. I thought I only had one. Are they both in the same location though? I wanted to buy a motorcycle, but every time I farted, I sharded, so it didn't work out. Come on, man. Come on. Cole, yeah, I checked it out, man. It was fucking great. I mean, it was very kind of odd listening to their opinions and listening to what they had to say, especially about such a controversial topic. But the idea is very strong, and I like the way you presented it. You know, it was a very straightforward documentary. It wasn't anything. You know, too. You know, I've seen more of that style footage where people kind of go overboard, but you really stuck to the point of the documentary. You really stuck to it, which is great. Besides your own, what is your favorite ACAN? Andrew Gerard has one on his Touching on Hoy that I kick myself for not having thought of because it's so simple. But the thing about his is that it requires a little bit of a move that not a lot of people would like. And by move, I mean subtlety. So, unfortunately, that really kind of eliminates it from a lot of people. But I remember seeing it, and I thought this was well worth. I think it was $10, $10 or $15. That was the download. Hoy on Gerard on Hoy. Man, what a fucking good any card at any number. It's pretty much you have the spectator think of any card. You know, you have the spectator think of any card, mix it up, right? They mix up the deck. They hand you back the deck. They name any number, right? And then pretty much you deal down to that number, just like that, and then that's the card, you know, per se. It's a wonderful method. It's a wonderful little bit of of a subtlety. A lot of people might be turned off by it, but I fucking loved it, based on the Hoy principle. So, do you consider mentalism with props? If so, are billets considered props? You know, I that's one of the things that I was talking about on the academy thing. You know, a bit about that because I don't think billets are props. I think that they're incidental to the effect. You know, and they're really not. They're really not. I don't know how to better say this, but they're almost lost in the effect. So if you do billet work with mentalism correctly, they shouldn't remember the actual billets themselves. So that's kind of one of the ideas of billet work is that if you do it correctly, they don't remember that billets were in play. So that's kind of one of the tips. I mentioned Bob Cassidy. Bob Cassidy has a wonderful pamphlet called The Invisible Billet. And the invisible billet is really a fucking wonderful idea in that you pretty much use a billet, but you kind of orchestrate it so that they forget about the billet, so that they don't really remember it by making the billet less important than the actual effect. So I obviously don't want to go into a lot of detail based on his because, you know, it's something that he's selling. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us, but, you know, well, something that he sold, I guess, past tense. But I really like his philosophy on the billet. I don't think it's a prop. However, that really becomes iffy because, for example, a slate in mentalism, is that a prop? You know, it's something you write on, but I guess by its nature it looks proppy, so that could be considered a prop. You know, I mentioned this also in the academy talking about propless mentalism and that it's a marketing ploy. It's not really anything other than a marketing ploy, I think. So it's just Darren Brown. He got the idea of this mentalism that you couldn't see, and unfortunately, that kind of sparked the idea of marketing propless mentalism. Even though I just think that it's a way for people to make money based on that concept. You know, you could present something as propless even by using billets. As a matter of fact, Darren even uses billets in a couple of his stage routines that he does on TV. There's one where it's he blindfolds a spectator. He has another spectator write a number on a billet. The spectator holds the billet in their hand, and the other spectator is able to blindfolded write out the number that this spectator just wrote down on a billet. So, you know, I'm thinking of throwing away roll the card magic. Almost every card effect can be achieved easier with a stripper deck and a deck switch. You know, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of stripper decks. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan. I do see the value, but I'm not a huge fan of it. There are a bunch of stuff you could do with it. To be honest, there are a lot of great ideas and to a lot of people. But you know, there's a couple things that there are also some offbeat ways to use a stripper deck, but to me, I enjoy Mark deck. I enjoy that style of gimmick deck. Even as man, as odd as it sounds with Fingali, I'm working on a project. I'm actually working on a little bit of a project with those style decks, but that's coming out a little bit later down the line. Got my hands on Colin Clown's earlier book with Illusionist. He has a whole psychological approach to billets. Yeah, it's accidental. I mean, you're supposed to technically present billets, I think, the best way as incidental, you know? So incidental in the sense of, oh, it's before this situation has happened to me, so I rather us write it down so I could prove later that I did get it correct, because you might screw me over. That's the internal monologue that's happening, you know? I don't RB, but I actually might be. I might be coming out with a video, like an actual full-on project on Mark Dax. We'll see. We'll see. But that's something that I have in the pipeline. Small piece of paper at billets, that's correct. That is correct. In Out of This World with a stripper deck can kill people. Also, I mean, in Out of This World was just a prepared deck. You know, you just separate the cards ahead of time, and you'll be good to go with that. But I do understand the strength of showing a deck to be mixed, and you know, in a cut or in an ordinary shuffle, be able to separate the deck. So I do see the value of that. You know, but Roll to Card Magic, honestly, a lot of the things could be updated, man. A lot of the things could be updated, or you could just use the effects, you know? So you could just use the book as inspiration to come up with your own effects. with your own methods for the effects, or more or less use that as inspiration to come out with other stuff. So it's not necessarily, it's not necessarily a waste. How about looked at the 4-second triangle or 4-sided triangle? Is that what's his name? I might have seen the person that came up with that live in New York. What's his name? The person that came up with that, Peter Samuelson, if I'm not mistaken. Peter Samuelson, 4-sided triangle. Is that correct? That it was him? I want to know if I got it correct there. I hope I did. But he had an effect called 4-sided triangle that I think he did on a stage show, and if I'm not mistaken, that might be his, which is great because if that's the case, and I saw it live, and I saw him do it live. It isn't. You're right, Brian. The explanation on that one isn't as clear, but that's a good thing. I remember that trying to come up with it, trying to like figure out what the hell Hubert or Browder was saying. You come up with little touches and variations. I think one of them in the book was this sort of thing, right? That you shuffle like this, right? That's one of the ones that was an expert card technique, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's one of those. I know I'm killing it. I'm honestly killing it, but that's one that I remember reading there, that you shuffle the cards this way, you use that as a cover card, and you kind of fix the deck up that way. There's another one that they actually mentioned that's this, which is just great, but that's pretty much done in conversation. The one in, my favorite one is this. That's my favorite one. So I don't know if I've explained that before. I'm sorry, this is kind of an odd angle to do this, but that's one that, fuck, let me do it correctly, god damn it. There you go. That's one that I've enjoyed tremendously. But yeah, okay, so that one I did put on Patreon. So that's just a variant on the, that's a variant on, it's the Leonard Green one, and it's also a variant on, from my understanding, I think the Truffle Shuffle is kind of similar, because the Truffle has that idea of, doing that. But it's just a combination of a couple of different ideas. I think I lost weight. It's probably that huge dump I took. That's a Taco Bell satchel. That's a Taco Bell, man. Yeah, fucking Daniel Madison. He has crazy fucking ones. He really has insane ones. But, he's also a fucking crazy magician. 4-sided triangle doesn't want to show it to me today. I'll get the name. I'm pretty sure it's Peter Samuelson. And I saw him do it live in New York, which was fantastic. He also got this ring, by the way. One of the coolest things was he does a linking rings routine at some point. So I remember that he did, he used this ring and he linked it to 2 others, which was kind of dope because his style routine, the way he does it, he borrows 3 rings from 3 different parts of the audience, which obviously helps, from the method perspective. But he then links them. So you have all 3 rings linked, and he goes up to each individual spectator and makes sure that they verify that their ring is linked in the actual the chain. Phenomenal. Fucking nominal. I don't know if he used that as an opener or as a closer. I think he might have used a 4-sided triangle as a closer, but he had a prediction. So he pretty much said today we're gonna build a 4-sided triangle, and he went with that pattern. It was phenomenal. I like your touch on the Charlier shuffle and cutting it back to its original state. Are you talking about this? Just doing this? That whole thing? There's something else. I'm going to Tannins and Phantasm, New York. Anything you highly suggest? Yeah, Magic is there. Magic Ballet. He's a riot, I remember I bought my current wallet. I actually bought my current wallet at Tannins. I don't want to show it because I have information that is me, but it's the hip pocket Malika. This is the wallet I got from Tannins, so that was kind of hot. That was a fun one. Oh, the shuffle, not the cut. Okay, yeah. So no, well, it's not a Charlier. It's because you could do it 2 ways. You either slip cut the card to the middle that way, or you slip cut it this way in the context of doing shuffles. So those are 2 different ways to do it. So one is just that way. That sort of bit. Oh, okay. All right, dumb. I was retarded. So okay, yeah, the Charlie shuffle that you could just undo it, and you could pretty much just get back to the same position. That's kind of a dope idea. But there's a that was a weird one. I think that was in one of the Hubert and Browery books, the Charlie shuffle, and it was really really hard to interpret based on the text. But that's just the way that I interpreted it. This one, by the way, you do need to watch your angles for this one because this is a very easy position to get caught in when you do this. And sometimes you could lift this prematurely and then get into this. So you want to make sure that the timing is is precise when it comes to doing that sort of bit. So you bend your hands towards you, and then that's when you execute it. What was the first effect I ever learned? This thing. I actually taught it on the channel. It's this thing. You reverse that card, right? So you have them touch any card. They look at that. You turn this deck over as they look at the card. You then place this in the middle. Have them square it up, or you square it up, and then you say you're going to find your card with one hand behind my back. So behind your back, all you do is this. That's what you do behind your back. And then when you come out with the cards, their card is the only face-up card in the deck. That was the first trick I ever learned from Mark Wilson's Guide to Magic. So what a fantastic fucking book. And on the channel I've put up probably 4 or 5 variations on that, using different color changes, using different sort of techniques. I really enjoyed this one in particular. You have I believe 3 cards turned over. There's a series that are like the fruit turnovers. One is a mango turnover, the other one's a papaya turnover trick. I put one on Patreon, and I think I put 2 or 3 on the channel. But it's this sort of thing where you have 3 cards reversed. You turn over the deck secretly, right? And then you kind of, I think if I remember correctly, you turn over 2 cards as one, and then you could show the rest of the deck to have turned over because you ask them, how many cards did I turn over? That's what it is. So you do a double lift, and you say, how many cards did I turn over? They're going to say 1, and you go, actually, I turned over the entire deck apart from 1 card, and then that's when you discover this little one here. If I remember correctly, that's one of the papaya or fruit turnovers. But that was a fun one. I really, really enjoy that. Pull out your anything deck and dedicate the remainder of the stream to explaining it right this instant. The Paul Harris trick? The Paul Harris one? Is that what you're talking about? Tommy Wonder does an amazing act using this technique. Actor trick, because he does have a trick where he has a little salt thing, right? And then he uses the magic salt on the deck, if that's not correct, if I'm not mistaken. No, I named Satchel. I named the tricks. Papaya turnover and mango turnover, and I think there's another strawberry turnover. So there's a bunch of different ones. Yeah, the salt trick. I forgot the name of that one, but he has a wonderful bit with that, where he sets up, right, if I remember correctly, that he just palms off. He palms off 3 cards, and then he produces those, and that's his misdirection to get into the setup. Fucking A, man. We lost that guy way too soon. Fucking throat cancer. Throat fucking cancer, man. Hit me up on Cole. Hit me up on. I know I have one tomorrow. Someone I don't know who. I forgot the name, but somebody wants to schedule one tomorrow. That I think I just got an email. But yeah, definitely hit me up either on an email or a DM on Instagram. I know you sent me a DM, but I didn't respond back because I was working on some other stuff. But definitely hit me up on one of the DMs, and then we could kind of schedule time so we could chat it up on Discord. But I know I have one, maybe I think 2 tomorrow. I think I just got 2 emails on that. But those are always fun, man. I really enjoy that because we kind of bounce ideas off each other. Maybe I tend to answer a bunch of questions about specific slides and stuff. So it's always kind of a fun thing to do. So I really enjoy those. Throat cancer, he says it takes a hit. Yeah, but this is no nicotine. This doesn't have anything other than just the ingredients, Yeah, definitely hit me up, man. Cole, hit me up. I was cutting pork chops with no gloves today. My fingers smell like pork. I'm sure this would turn on Butcher. That's fucking funny. R.I.P. Bob Weinstein. I wasn't familiar with Bob Weinstein. Wasn't familiar with him at all. This is a wonderful wallet to get, by the way. This now that I'm remembering this, this is one of my favorite wallets. Let me make sure that I take out all my fucking information from this wallet so I could show you why it's so good. But this is the Hip Pocket Molica wallet. Why no nicotine? I like the flavor. I like the flavor, honestly. I don't like, I mean, I don't smoke. I've never smoked ever. But I do like the flavor of it. I got the Rogues. This is good. I would say definitely in terms of wallets per se, this one is kind of on the big side. So the reason I like this one is because I forget my wallet all the fucking time. So I rather take a take a big wallet so then I remember to bring this. I don't know how many times I forget it. But what I like about this is that, well, first of all, this is something that lives here permanently. This is something that lives here permanently. These are just blank business cards, right? So I don't want to expose what I do with these because I feel like that's solid gold. This is one. There's something here with a stack of cards that I think it's one of my favorite ideas of all time, and it does involve this wallet. It does involve using this wallet. It doesn't have to, but one of the properties of that is fucking so good. But what I like about this wallet is that the loading mechanism is very, very simple to do. So, you know, just in the action of saying, sir, so this wallet's been here the entire time, right? You haven't taken your eyes off of it. That's cool, because actually I have a little bit of a gold zipper there, but that's actually a separate wallet. Here's where I keep the real big bucks, right here. And of course you go into the loading. It's kind of hard with this angle, but you know, you do this bit, you know. But I enjoy that a lot. I really enjoy that a fucking lot. But the only problem with the wallet is that that's the only thing you could do. I mean, the only thing you could really do is that one card to wallet using the Molica style load. But you do have a card to wallet inside of another wallet that fits in your pocket. So that's one of my favorite things to do with this particular wallet. But there's a bunch of good stuff. If you know Super Dave, you should definitely check him out. I do, man. I haven't really watched a lot of magicians on YouTube. Lately, I've been watching more camera stuff and audio stuff to try to like learn that stuff, but I'll check him out. Speaker at Costco. Anything but the N and C word are okay. So cock, shit, fuck, those are all good? Those are all loud? That's funny. But I like this one in particular just because the loading is so easy, man. You just, you know, you hide the card underneath and then it's just done, you know? That's it. Good to go. So there isn't any sort of what do you call this? Fumbling around. There isn't any sort of any palming whatsoever. That's one of the things that I enjoy about that. I know that you mentioned the Real Man's Wallet. I'm not a fan of that just because the palming aspect of it. I enjoy the fact that you don't necessarily have to palm with this one. You could, if you wanted to. You could cop out a card, and then you know do the loading there. But this one is just a very simplified thing to do, and it's an out. You know, it's always an out that you have. So a lot of people tend to carry an invisible deck. In carrying your normal wallet, you pretty much have an invisible deck. You know, was that your card, sir? No. What was your card? 8 of clubs? No, that's weird. I don't actually have an 8 of clubs in this deck. That's kind of weird. You know, I've had this wallet out. And I've had this. You've seen it here the entire time. I know your card wasn't the King of Spades, but you know, funny enough, I actually have a little bit of a wallet here. This is where I keep the big butts. This is where I keep the big bucks, sir. Not the Buck Twins. But in here, I actually keep my lucky card. My lucky card, which is well, you turn it over, and of course that's the 8 of clubs. You know, so that's just a little bit of an out. You always have an invisible deck if you carry a card to wallet on you. So you know, even if you mess up a trick, all you have to do is just ask them for the name. You know, just ask them for the name. If you already found their card, sir, for the first time, name your card. 8 of clubs. Shit, that's not the 8. You know, actually, funny enough, I don't have the 7 of clubs in this deck. I don't have the 7 of clubs. See, it's not in this deck. And you're in position. So, kind of heat. You know? So, spread the deck and then boom, palm it. Yeah, but, you know, again, that requires palming. I'm lazy, dude. I'm fucking lazy. I'm a lazy magician. So if I could avoid a palm by just relying on subtlety, I'll do that. Even though I have to carry this monstrosity with me. But it's a benefit, you know. Carrying this on me pretty much. I see it on the counter. Look how big it is for a pocket wallet. This is pretty fucking big, you know. Do you like the Mercury card fold? I like it, but you're ruining cards. You know, you're ruining cards every time. So I don't enjoy that aspect of it. I like this thing because you don't have to fold it. You don't have to do anything else. There's a couple of ones that do require folding. For example, Jay Sankey's paperclip, I think it's phenomenal. Jay Sankey's paperclip is fucking fantastic. Do a double lift. I'll do a double lift right here. Right there. Wow, world's worst double lift. I got one right there. Look at that. How obnoxious is that? How obnoxious is that one? Here's another one. Here's another obnoxious double lift. Right? Let me see if I could do an even more obnoxious double. There you go. Look at how can I get more obnoxious? Oh boy. Let me see if there's one here. Right? That's pretty obnoxious. They could get really stupid. Honestly, they could get really, really stupid. Do a classic pass. What the man? You asked me to do a double lift. Are you the same person? Yeah, you asked me to do a double lift, and now you asked me. I'm not a move monkey. You could do an impromptu card to cow's ass. Yeah, as long as you load the double backer and the cow's ass. You know, that's something that you could definitely kind of work on. But yeah, man, I don't like carrying stuff that doesn't really aid me in other aspects. This is something that I use as a normal wallet, so I feel like it's not like I'm carrying a prop on me. And with these, if you have you know a stack of blank cards, you could really do fucking almost an infinite amount of shit by just having that, you know. So it's not really carrying something, like just going around with a deck on you. It's just kind of gay, to be honest. I don't want to say that again. You know, I don't want to stir up an argument. Somehow given no. Yeah, I don't know how I would do that, man. I don't know how it would go all the way to Taco Bell. Give my card, possibly give my name, possibly give other aspects, and end up not revealing anything about me while going to Taco Bell. You know. Do you think the top change is better than double lift? Depends. Depends on the situation. Some situations call better for a top change. Some situations call better for a double lift. Really, it depends. What I like about the top change is that it's versatile. You know, you could show a card, right? And just using a little bit of misdirection, sir. You have a good eye, sir. Are those the glasses you wear all the time? No, because I have some that look like that. You know, you've essentially done it. So it depends. It really depends on that, man. How are you supposed to use your card decks if it's lame to carry cards on you? You could potentially plant decks. That's a way to circumvent my rule. Listen, the way I compare it, in the 90s, WCW, World Championship Wrestling, they had a promoter that didn't allow wrestlers to get on the top rope and do moves, you know, so when they jump and they do all these flashy moves, and he didn't allow wrestlers to get thrown over the top rope. Now, the reason he did that was so wrestlers would have to find creative ways to do those actions. So either with the referee not looking or through other means that pretty much circumvented those rules. I think it's kind of gay to carry around a deck of cards on you to do tricks. However, I don't think planting a deck, maybe having a deck in a certain situation, this deck is on the floor, or putting a deck on the table, you know, I think that that's a way of circumventing that rule. So you just got to be creative with it. But I think taking a deck out of your pocket in any social situation is pretty much the fastest way to solidify your virginity. So find different ways around that rule. I think that that's a little bit of a creative challenge, you know? Fuck, I saw one here that was kind of dank. I saw one here that was dank before. Fuck, man. Bill Malone. Okay, I saw that one before. Bill Malone is dope. Bill Malone is fucking great, man. Bill Malone is one of my favorite magicians for his sake of creativity, for his fucking his chops. Bill Malone is definitely a fucking fantastic magician, man. Do you have card to phone tricks? No, I hate that, man. I hate those, to be honest. I don't like magic apps that are overt. There's a bunch of ones that I have that are covert, but there are a couple ones that are not. You know, you're. I guess with that one, you are pretty much using the phone as an impossible location, so that is kind of fine, I guess. But at the same time, you. If you're using any trick that's like, oh, my phone's been here the entire time, right? Yeah, so maybe it could be voice activated, right? Maybe it could be anything that involves anything that's within the possibility of you know, the realm of reality. And you know, honestly, now with Siri and with Google, you know, doing their voice shit, it's very easy to think as a layperson that your effect or your method is using voice or is using some mechanic of the phone. But if you're using the phone as a covert prop, so for example, there's a wonderful effect by Greg Rostami where they call your phone and you take out your phone, you put it on, you know, negate the call, and they hear your voicemail, and your voicemail reveals their card. I think that's fine because the phone is part of the effect. The effect is that they call your voicemail, and the voicemail reveals their card. But if it's invisible deck with your phone, nah, you know. I guess card to phone is fine because again, it's an impossible location, you know. But like I know Illusionist came up with a trick a while ago that was like an invisible deck on your phone. That's AIDS. Why am I offline? Why am I paying Comcast? Why the fuck, honestly, am I paying Comcast? Seriously. I feel like every fucking time I have an issue with Comcast. Thankfully, I'm on this shit that's network, but my other phone that I was reading the chat on is disconnected, apparently from the internet. Thank you, Comcast. You're so reliable, and you're the only one that's available in my area, you motherfucker, taking my money every fucking month. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go, fucking reset it. Okay. There's another one here. How do you use the KM move to get out of a reversed card in the deck? I think at that point, you might want to use, like, if there is a card that's reversed in the deck, you just let the deck fall naturally, right? Because of the situation of the card, it's going to by just relaxing your thumb, it's going to allow the card there. So you could actually just use the KM move with the entire deck that way to clean up. You know, you don't have to use the KM move in its standard use with 2 cards like that. You know, you could use it with pretty much the entire deck, and it's almost a little bit of Marlowe's future reverse, right? But that's kind of the dope one. You know, I guess you could use the KM move in that sense to clean up if you have a card that's reversed in the deck. How much do I pay Comcast? I forgot, man. I think I talked them down. It was like 50 something, but it's still way too much for what I get, which is unreliable internet. Motherfuckers. Okay, so yeah, so then it might have been from Prism, but Peter Samuelson did perform it. So that's the one that I saw him do it. I don't know if he's the one that originated the effect and gave it to Max to put it in Prism, but it's the one with the card one, right? It's the card sort of prediction idea, I think. I do remember one of the interesting parts about it is that I saw him pre-show one of the people in the audience. So I saw him pre-show one of the people in the audience for the actual effect. And they fucked it up, which is the worst thing. I mean, the instruction was very, very simple. you know, he goes into the audience and then he just pretty much forces a fucking card on them with whatever way. But he did it in the context of a conversation. He was very, very slick about it. And then at some point he addresses those spectators and he says, "Ma'am, I want you to think of a card that you know you may have in your mind." The way he did it was really, really great. It really didn't seem like he had met him before, but they fucked up. You know, they fucked it up. They like, "Oh, I don't know what card." You know, so they messed it up, but he still recovered pretty well. So instead of making a 4-sided triangle, he made a regular 3-sided triangle, but he was still able to salvage the effect, luckily for him. Still, kind of interesting to see how Magician does that on how Magician solves a situation under fire like that. Hey, Satchel, you take care, man. Try not to get anyone pregnant accidentally. But yeah, what a wonderful fucking. I still remember that was a great effect. Another one that I saw live was Francis Minotti. He did I think his typical act, and he fucking killed it, man. Francis Minotti, he's a weird dude. Took a picture with my former person I was sticking my wiener in, and but he did a great act. Fucking lobster. He did the reverse move, a sort of bit with what did he do, man? He did where he shuffles the deck, he has somebody pick a card, and then he mixes up the deck, and his speech gets mixed up because the deck is mixed up, and then his speech comes back to normal because the deck goes back to normal. Wonderful effect. Wonderful fucking effect, man. Yeah, it's based on the idea of a double entendre and what you address the pre-show force. Yeah, so it's exactly that. Definitely that, man. Very, very dope. But he killed it, man. He killed the effect. It's just unfortunate that the people, I guess, didn't. You know, you kind of have to pick and choose people that you think are going to be reasonably intelligent to do pre-show, and he kind of just went with whatever was there. So that was kind of an iffy thing. But then that was one of the things that annoyed me the most, because this is the sound you heard during intermission. You heard this shit. This is the sound you heard during the show. That's the sound you were hearing throughout the fucking show, because people kept reminding the people around them that they're magicians too, you know? So that's something that happened and was really fucking annoying. I'm telling you, the guy in front of me, the guy sat directly in front of me, brought a case. He brought a fucking case full of props, Mentalism props, and he was showing the guy next to him, like, all this stuff during the show. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? What is this shit? This is fucking dumb. Jesus, man. I mean, granted, he wasn't doing it loudly, but at the same time, like, fuck, man, it was fucking cringe as shit, dude. Oh, I think I had an entire video on that. Yeah, you know, I do remember. I did an entire video on that, on things not to do in a fucking magic show. One is anything that doesn't involve, anything that's outside of you sitting on your chair and watching the fucking show. That's what you have to do. You're going to a magic show. It's not about you. You're paying to see another fucking magician. You could put the cards away and take the attention away from yourself for an hour and a half. You know? You know why they do it. Like, it's not because oh no, I'm practicing. I always have to spend my time practicing. No, bullshit. You want to get some of that attention that's on someone else back on you, and let other people around you know that you're also a magician. That's honestly why you're doing it. So put them away for an hour and 30 fucking minutes and enjoy the goddamn show. You know? I think that's the thing. But it's happened at every fucking show I've ever been to. It's been on every fucking show, man. Worse than the magician than the audience. I want the rest to know. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why you do it. So you have people doing, really? You happen to be practicing your springs at this particular moment. What a fucking coincidence that you seem to be practicing your loudest sleights. You know, you're practicing or you're doing the loudest sleights you possibly have in the entirety of your fucking knowledge base for magic while a show is going on. Or even during intermission, or even during another point. Like, it doesn't fucking matter if it's intermission or another thing. People aren't there to watch you, you know? During intermission, you had, the venue had, because it was Monday Night Magic, they had 3 magicians out doing close-up magic, and you still had fucking magicians doing dumb bullshit. of them shuffling their cards loudly. It's like, what are you? You're practicing your loudest slides, and they're doing this spring, that spring. That's my favorite bit. I remember teaching that on the channel, because obviously, you know, you got two different ways to do the spring. You have that way, and then you have this way. I like this way, just because it's a sharp sound. It's loud, and if you are performing, it does get attention on you. Again, barring the fact that you're not at a fucking somebody else's show. I remember putting a tutorial on that on this channel, and the amount of comments that I got saying maybe you should do a tutorial when you know how to do the move correctly. Maybe you should fucking learn the move correctly and then teach it. All right. Did it, fucker. But yeah, but I just find it interesting that, you know, that whole idea of magicians taking their props to a show, you know? Like, I really fucking don't understand that bit. Have I ever bust? No. I mean, it's only been informal performances here and there. It's never been anything outrageous. Making card moves anywhere but in the privacy of your home or your own performance is as cringe as it gets. Yeah, because you just want the attention back on you. You want the attention back on you, and it's fucking irritating. But every single magic show I've ever been on, somebody brings out the things and they start mixing up at the magic show. You know, I think that's kind of a rough thing. What's wrong with collecting cards? There isn't anything wrong with collecting cards. As a matter of fact, there isn't anything wrong with giving your favorite pastry-based swine magicians a deck of fuckboy sevens. Kelsey. Hey! We don't exist, German, at least according to flat earthers. You met an Australian person. Where'd you meet him, man? Where'd you meet him, dude? As an Australian, I hate that people can afford cards. Damn, son. What's your favorite card flourish? It's, I think this one. It's just a bit of a variation on the standard Sybil, right? Oh boy, I promise I could do it better. Holy shit. Just so I could do it. Just kind of an awkward angle here. There's that one. I like this one. I like that. There's another one. This one I do a lot. Right, that one's one of my favorites. This one, right, you do this a little bit. That one's those are all kind of false ones. This one's a cool one. It's kind of a simple one. Right, this one, even though it's simple as shit, just a standard Sybil. Right, that one's kind of cool. I'm trying to think of another one. Son of a bitch, man. This one's kind of a cool one. This one too. Just simple shit, man. I'm not a huge fan of that complicated stuff. German says, friend that goes to college in Canada brought an Australian friend down here. Jesus. Was it a dude, or was it somebody that you could, you know, potentially stick your wiener in? Your dirty wiener. Limited cards are sometimes at a decent investment. They bought some tin. Well, the one playing cards, man. Ramsey, the Ram fam, they were selling them up, I think, the day of for like, I think 50 to 180 bucks on eBay. Holy shit, dude. Hopefully my cards have that much of a fucking demand. You put a wiener in a dude. Oh, he was a pretty cool dude, but he was super time I met him. Jesus. From Australia. How's the I lost my virginity before collecting cards, so I guess it worked out. That's a life hack. You gotta do it before. You gotta do it before, man. But what is there was something else. Oh, what's the weed laws over there, man? Hey Piggy, when are we releasing my Google Assistant trick? You know, I do want to do that. Honestly, I do want to do that, and then a co-release project. Piggy presents whatever interesting title you bring it up. By Brian Connor. I think that's that dank thing. I do have something that I'm working on this month, so maybe, hopefully, if I settle it and then film it and record it and do all that shit, probably either next month or March. You know, honestly, that's something we could do because it's a very wonderful effect. I just hope that it doesn't become obsolete. You know, there's a couple different effects that involve pretty much software that becomes obsolete. So I hope Google doesn't come up or do some sort of thing on their end that fucks it up. But I fucking love it, man. I haven't set it up yet. but I think it's fucking crazy good shit. God, man, maybe it's the butcher in you. Maybe it's the butcher in you, man. Maybe it's that. One thing we could do, we could have sort of like a collaborative project. In terms of sending the idea out to other magicians and then seeing what they have. I remember that was something somebody did with billets from a couple years ago. I forgot the name of the project, but he sent out a bunch of different ideas for billet work, and he got feedback from fucking dozens of magicians. But I do remember Butcher using if this and that to that capacity, in a sort of complicated yet efficient fashion. Kind of interesting, kind of an interesting thing, just a thought. Just a thought. Satchel saying follow Pigcake Plus on Instagram. Go check out Pigcake merch. Pigcake.me. Go outside. Check out the academy. Hook up with a homeless school teacher. Excuse me. Ah, shit, dude. Listen, man. Pigcake Plus. Pigcake Plus on Instagram. You're right. Go follow at Pigcake Plus. I just launched a new sort of thing on Pigcake on my Insta, man. I have Pigcake 69, which is a magic one. And then I got Pigcake Plus with hot non-magic content. I just put up that pic. I just put up that picture of myself looking like a cutie. But that's going to be the non-Pigcake magic items. So make sure to look out for that. That's kind of a heated thing. I kind of want to upload... who's the most bangable female magician? That's rough. I honestly can't think of a lot of fucking hot female magicians, man. Fuck. Charlotte Pendragon was fine as fuck. Holy shit. Charlotte Pendragon. Obviously she's an older woman now, but damn, man, she was fine as shit. Yeah, I can't think it's like attractive male magicians, There's a couple red-headed female magicians. Yeah, there are a couple red-headed female. I've seen Stefan's magic in the mall vids, and I want to say, if Pigcake were to show teenage girls magic, he would have 25 years with no bail instantly. Oh, you motherfucker. That's fucking great. Yeah, you're right. They would immediately put me in the slammer without even any sort of like, hey, what are you doing? I don't think I'm allowed around girls younger than 18. I think I'm not allowed. Honestly, I had to check with my parole officer, but I think I'm not allowed anymore. Why is my fucking internet disconnecting so hard? God damn it, dude. My fucking internet keeps disconnecting. It might be the fact that I'm on the opposite end of the house, but even then, come on, man. It's not this. This is not going to disconnect. This is on T-Mobile, all right? It's the one that I'm reading the fucking chat in, all right? It's the one that I'm reading my fucking chat in, so I don't touch the screen here. But, yeah. But I'm definitely going to get statutory if I decide to do tricks for adolescent females at the mall. Imagine hitting up Dadeland Mall and be like, hey guys, you guys want to see some tricks? Come on, touch the deck. Touch the deck. Touch the deck. And then it becomes evidence in litigation. Imagine I have them sign a card and that becomes evidence. Wasn't there a magician a couple months ago that got busted? He didn't get busted, but he pretty much copied Copperfield's pattern. Right, he copied Copperfield's pattern for an effect that Copperfield would do, where he would kind of feel up, the female, and it would be a cute little byplay. But he did it with like a college crowd at like a very, very sort of, I don't want to say liberal college, but like a very sort of, we're gonna get offended if you say binary. If you say binary, to bring that meme back. And he did a bit. And, the female kind of put I think, what do you call this? She filed charges or she did a formal complaint. But I remember a bunch of magicians on Reddit and the Magic Cafe talking about his disgusting sort of atrocious act. But Copperfield fucking did it, dude. Copperfield did the same shit. If anything, he should be chastised for copying fucking Copperfield's bit. So, was it Furman? No, it wasn't Furman. It was somebody else. I forgot who it was. Let me take the charger off of this phone. Yeah? Okay, it's back. What about that Las Vegas magician that turned out to have a preference? Yeah, Raven, and there's also Jim Pace, man. Jim fucking Pace. I have a couple of his wallets, which is terrifying. Illusionists actually put up a wallet recently that they're like, for reasons that are obvious, we're not going to mention the magician that came up with this trick. However, we are aware that there's a magician that came up with this. And it was Jim fucking Pace, who's a piece of shit, but he did come up with great wallets. So he did come up with some amazing wallets, to be honest. But he was a asshole. He was a fucking asshole. So he's still on the slammer, I think. I'll tell you right now when they put him in. What a fucking piece of shit, though. I remember I also got Visual Antics from Penguin Magic back in the day, which was a fantastic DVD. But let me see. Jim Pace. Magician. Let me see. Jim Pace, Magician. Let's see. The guy's a fucking piece of absolute shit. So in 2010, he was serving a 13-plus sentence for sex crimes. In 2010. So I don't know if he is... Maybe he got out on early time. I'm not sure. We'll see right now. We'll see right now. Funny enough, his website's still up. His fucking website is still up. And the Jerks, of course, the Jerks has an article here. Let's read it. So it says, "Hey there, do you know magicians who were convicted of a sex crime? Do you know magicians that were convicted of a sex crime? If so, can you send me a link to an article, police report?" So here he's talking about, I know, so pass them along if you know any. I know Bob Markwood and Jim Pace. And then that's all that happened. So that's literally it. It wasn't anything. I thought this was an entire article. But yeah, the Jerks is fucking great. I've written a couple of that. Pigcake, nobody cares, reveal a face. I'm not gonna show my face, man. That's kind of a thing I've chosen not to do with this channel. Is not show my face. Again, it's that dumb thing, man. It's okay. So again, let me bring up the example of fucking Lou. What's Unbox Therapy, right? Everyone wanted to see this guy's face. Everyone wanted to see who this guy was. This fictional character that he would have on the side, and then the instant that guy, said his identity and showed his face, that's the end of the mystery. That's the end of that style or thought of who was this mystery figure. It's the same shit. I think it's a short-sighted thing, and it's not really anything that I want to do, because I do want to keep that mystery element of the channel. I do want to keep that mystery. I want to keep it more about it. So I don't necessarily want to do any sort of reveal of that. It's a cringy thing. Hey guys, here's my face. Here's my face, guys. So I think it's a lose-lose situation, but it kind of tells me it seems to be the younger crowd that wants to see my face. The older crowd, I think, understands the aesthetic. The younger crowd really doesn't give a fuck about artistic sort of endeavor or artistic merit. So just show me a face, Pigcake. Just show me your face. It's a normal face. It's a normal looking face, So it's not anything that you'd gain by seeing it. So there you go. But I do enjoy the mystery aspect of it. Fuck, there's somebody else here. Everyone's butcher. Yeah, that's the meme. That's the fucking meme. I don't give a shit what you look like. Not a bad. I know people ask a lot, but it's just a decision I've made on the channel that it's more for the mystery element. I do like the mystery aspect of not showing the face, not saying a lot of stuff about who I am. If I do go to a convention, I'm anonymous. If I do go to any sort of meetup, nobody knows that it's me. I appreciate that sort of aspect about it. But I think the short-sighted aspect of that is just say, come on, man, just do it. So there you go. Yeah, this is not a vape. I'm not a adolescent. I mean, this is not a fucking a jewel. I'm not a 13-year-old. You probably have a 70s porn mustache. I did, for a little bit. I did have one for a little bit, honestly. But I did not, I did not keep it. I did not keep it for long. Right now, I have a little bit of a bitch beard. It's not the Xavier beard. It's not the where you at top notch. It's not the top notch beard that he keeps posting up on Instagram. It's a bitch beard. You know, I'm trying to grow it up a little bit. I bet money if anyone went to your and hear you talk would recognize you. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's happened before. I don't want to say much more. Pigcake wears socks in real life. I don't wear socks often. I'm not a fan of socks, man. I'm more of a fan of the bare feet. I'm actually barefoot right now. Jeremy could probably guess what I'm wearing on the body. Let's see if you get it. If you're still around. I might as well be the worst kind of the trash that's from where I'm from. So there's something else here. Fuck, man. Let's see. You said Pigcake. It's okay to reveal a trick. I guess. I mean, I don't necessarily consider what I do as revealing tricks. I think it's more of a tutelage, more tutorials. You know, try to get people to learn. But some people consider that exposure. I disagree. But I think it's okay. Sitting at a Taco Bell for an hour in Florida and wait for a 4-foot tall giant to. Yeah, but which Taco Bell, man? There's a couple. There's 3 or 4 within a 4-mile radius around here. I think. Tank top and sweats. Close enough. There's another one here that was kind of hashtag Emma Lindsay. You missed the comparison. I made to WCW. Lindsay. That's a real name. It's not. But yeah, you missed the comparison I made to, for some odd reason, I was able to draw a parallel between Bill Watts' WCW and doing justifying and justification. I made a parallel there, so you would have enjoyed that. You know how he didn't allow people to throw people over the top rope and do, jump from the top rope or throw people over the top rope. So they had to find alternative ways to get about that. So I was making the same comparison to carrying around a deck of cards, because some people said, hey, if you don't like to carry around decks of cards, then how do you do card tricks? And I suggested that maybe you could plant the deck. Maybe you could plant the cards. Maybe you could put them in a certain position where they're available to you, but it's not immediately apparent that you took them out of their fucking pocket. Did I tell you that I owned WWF.com for a while? Yeah, I think you mentioned that. Before. I remember the dude that bought Google for some odd reason, and he had it for 15 minutes, and then immediately they were on him like fried chicken on a white person. White people like fried chicken too, right? Maybe. FYI, everyone save up your pennies. Piggy's birthday is around the corner. Yeah, that is true. It's not super close, but it's scary how fast it's passed, or how fast it's gone to this point. We'll see your face in the news when you're caught with pop-ups, severed head in your freezer. No biggie. I can't say that on a live stream, but I think that's something that I would probably enjoy. He's a fucking fuck. That guy's a piece of actual shit. I can't believe he's still around, man. Selling fucking people. The big 30 next? No, thankfully. Thankfully not. Thankfully not, man. That gives you a little bit of an indicator of my age, but no, man. There's another one. I just throw a deck over the top rope and get DQ'd by Mark Curtis. R.I.P. R.I.P. Mark Curtis. There's that video of him stomping the shit out of somebody that jumped the ring. That was a great fucking video. What about illusionist decks? Man? Illusionist decks tend to be on the thicker side. I don't know. They tend to be like, apart from the Daniel Madison ones. The Madison ones are are on the thinner side. The Illusionist ones, for some fucking reason, man, they decide to get the thickest fucking stock, like Theory 11. For some odd thing. I don't know why Theory 11 and Illusionists tend to go for thicker cards. I'm not a huge fan at all, but, you know, to each their own. To each their own. Thick decks. Boy! Thick boy! Sorry. Channeling my inner black person. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of those, man. I'm not a huge fan of those per se. I'm more partial to the crush stock. Ever since I got a crushed deck. Dude, Pigcake, you're a child sociologically until 34 nowadays. Yeah, that is true. That is true. I can't believe I mean, that's a good thing, though. At least medical science is raising our life expectancy past what it used to be 2,000 years ago. Where it's like, you're 34, you're ancient. You're fucking ancient, man. Illusionist deck I have are Copogs, and they're somehow stiff as shit. They're not Copogs aren't Illusionist ones. Copogs aren't Illusionist decks. They're Cardamundis. Maybe Illusionist sells them, but they're not Illusionists. Those are thick though. Those are thick boys, son. Those are legit thick boys. I fucking love them. They just sent me a brick of the new ones that I gotta make a video with your boy, the Gentleman Wake. So we're gonna be working on a video for that. Yeah, you know, funny enough, I was with UME today, United Magicians Emporium. We were hanging out, we were looking for cards, and we went to Target, and they had a bunch of Jimmy Fallon decks, SNL decks. They had a bunch of those. Illusionist has gone to Cardamuni for cards? I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. That's a good move. Honestly, Cardamuni does make fantastic cards. A little bit on the expensive side, to be honest, but they're fucking phenomenal. There was something else here. There was something else here, man. Wait a minute. How are you 34 and used to be? It wasn't an 18-month course, man. It was a bunch of credits that you had to take that I'm still paying for, motherfuckers. Technically, I remember I got them on credit, and now they're useless. But I remember I got laughed at by my superior when I said, "Hey, do you guys give me a little bit of the money for the classes that I have to fucking take for working in your dumb school?" And no, I had to pay that all out of pocket. I used the credit card to buy that bitch, to buy those classes. It came up to fucking expensive as shit. It was, I mean, total between all the tests and all that shit, which now obviously they're wasted because I don't even fucking do that anymore. I think it was maybe five grand or some shit total, unfortunately, that I had to stomach to do all the things that I didn't get back. You know, motherfuckers. But yeah, I remember I got laughed at. I got laughed at not only by my boss, but by the what do you call this shit? By the advisor. I went to an advisor at the school, and I'm like, "Hey, are there any grants or are there anything?" And they're like, "Grants, bitch! You already graduated. This is extra." So I'm like, "This is you bitches, you know, you motherfuckers." So I still owe that because I paid that on fucking credit just to make sure that I could do it and pay back slowly. But motherfuckers, man. Between the tests and between the courses, I think it's 5 courses that you got to take, if I remember correctly. And then it's also 4 tests, and each test is like 300 something. And there was one that I actually failed the first time because I thought I was fucking good. I thought I was hot shit. But I failed that test the first time. And you gotta wait a month to retake it, and they charge you more. So the first time you take it, it's $350, and then if you fail the test, you gotta pay $400 for that bitch, motherfuckers. That shit is I still see it every time on all the expenses and all that shit. Fucking assholes, man. That was a while ago too, so motherfucking fuckers, man, squeezing my ass. And now it's like a waste because I don't even. What's the use of it? I'm not gonna do that anytime soon, you know. So it's kind of a waste in that sense. But, you know, at least I was able to use it for the time being and grow as an educator. And I guess kind of, you know, learn from that way. But Now looking back on it, it was a giant waste. I should have just stuck to this. Something that pays a fraction less, but is infinitely more rewarding than being an actual fucking legit teacher. Like, it doesn't matter anymore when they got their knowledge from. Let me see what you said before. In Germany, now everyone can become a teacher without having to have studied as long as they're qualified to do the job. What's that mean, man? What's that even mean, dude? What does that mean? Was it weird when the kid... Everyone's taller than me, man. Everyone's taller than me. I'm a fucking child, man. Thank God I don't get carded anymore. I don't get carded anymore. At least that's a good thing. But unfortunately, yeah, I do get the having to look up the motherfuckers, you know. Let's see, what's this? Nah. What else? Something else? I'm not taller than you. Well, I mean, somebody's done analysis on that video with me and the gentleman Wake to determine my actual height, which I find Rey Mysterio's taller than me. Rey Mysterio's 5'6". That motherfucker's taller than me. But he taught second grade. Oh, I see what you mean. Look at you guys, double team roast here. Fucking motherfuckers. But yeah, man, I'm a short motherfucker. I blame my mom. My mom was short and fat. Is short and fat. She's like 4'11" and like 210 or whatever. So yeah, that's kind of I don't think in the videos you see my entire body. You don't see my entire, so you can't really appreciate the height. You could only compare it to like maybe the background stuff. But that video with Gentleman Wake, I exposed my height there, especially in comparison to him, because he's like an average sized dude, and I'm way under him. So that was fucking great. Dan Pizza, I'm 6'5". Is that true? Is that fucking true, dude? No way. No fucking way if you're 6'5", man. Unless it's backwards, man. You're 6'5", damn, son. You on that Rise Magic tip. Rise Magic, they're fucking tall as shit, dude. Those guys are tall motherfuckers. They were raised back when meat was cheap. That's a Bill Malone line there. I'm definitely getting robbed. Well, before you had to study to become a teacher, now you could just become, as long as you could prove your knowledge. Yeah, you still have to do that. That was kind of an odd thing, you know. Here it's not as different, but you have to take more fucking classes, and then you have to kind of prove your mastery of whatever you're teaching with otherwise fucking dumb test that doesn't really prove shit. Porn steroids. Back with porn steroids. Yeah, that's kind of what you have to take in order to be an adequately sized individual. I remember I knew a dude that he was very undersized, and dude was undersized, and he took hormones. And guy, his fucking forehead grew up way more than it should have, so he looked like an absolute dumbass. But he did grow a couple feet. He did grow not even a couple feet. Sorry, grew a foot and a half. So he kind of fucked with his hormones and shit. Yeah. yeah, I could do that. That's actually one of the ideas that I was planning, RB. I do eventually want to make a video with Rise Magic. I fucking love them. I love those motherfuckers. But I would love to do a video with them. They definitely wouldn't. You would, if the only way that you could see my face is if you do crotch shots on them. That's the only way that you could actually see my face if we make a video for them. Do I think college is worth it? You know, my opinion changed of that, obviously, over the years. I think that it depends. It really depends. College is not for everyone, especially now. I don't think Satchel's obsessed with. Wait, what's Satchel saying? What's Satchel saying? Oh, a commentary of purple nails, girl. That's funny. And what's my type of female? Girls with purple nails. That's my type. That's my type. Cool. But yeah, but I what the fuck was I saying? Oh, okay. So college is not for everyone. And I've learned that now because I've learned that, you know, through other means you're able to, you know, make a living, which is kind of great. But it really depends. Some people really fare well without college. Some people do better with college. It just really depends on your priorities. If you want to be an architect, if you want to be in any sort of medical field, obviously you're going to need to do that and go through college. But some people that you know are more creative, some people that are more creative could at least struggle for a bit, but they're at least able to make funds doing whatever it is they want to do in that sense. So whether that's theater or, but I've also learned that it's also who you know. It's also who you know, man. That's a lot of it. That is a lot of success. It's not your qualifications. It's really knowing the right person. It's knowing the person in the appropriate area that you want to get into. So again, college is not for everyone, and especially now that it's you're pretty much in. Thankfully the only thing that I paid for that I still am technically paying for is the teaching classes that I had to take after I graduated. That's the only thing that I had to pay for. But throughout my entirety of college, I was kind of blessed to get grants and blessed to not have to pay anything and still able to get my bachelor's without having to owe anything. But that's not the same for those extra classes that I needed to take. But really, it's who you know. It's being at the right time at the right place. That's kind of a lot of it, I'm doing cyber operations, so I have to go that way. You have to get your degree. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing that you kind of have to in that case. Everyone wants to become a YouTuber or startup nowadays by the age of 8. Yeah, but that's a highly unrealistic thing. Again, you kind of also have to be realistic because I'm 100% aware that for YouTube, it's such a huge scope of competition in terms of trying to not necessarily compete with other YouTubers, but you have to get in front of an audience, and you have to find different ways to, show yourself to as wide of an audience as you possibly can. And people think that they're ready for that. They think that they're ready for that, which is why you see now a bunch of YouTubers that are super popular in their circles, millions of subscribers, and they're breaking down mentally. They're having mental breakdowns openly in front of everyone because they're not prepared for that lifestyle. They should have never done anything that was a creative, competitive field like YouTube, So to them, they're breaking down because they had a surge in popularity, and then as is natural with any sort of surge, if you're doing the same sort of content, which is something that I'm going to have to work on eventually, even now, is this idea of you having repetitive content that people are just going to move away from, So to them, they can't deal with the fact that they're on either a plateau or they're on their downslope. They can't deal with that. So they mentally break down and they fucking, that's it. That's the end of it. So what do YouTubers do when YouTube suddenly decides to cease business? I think that YouTube has created a model for themselves where even though right now technically they're not making a profit, that they are still going to be around for a really, really long time. I don't think that there's going to be any sort of competition to come up with that. But YouTube is a media. I mean, right now, what I use YouTube for is to try to reach an audience. That's what I'm using YouTube for. I'm trying to make content to reach as wide of an audience as I possibly can in doing something that I love, which is magic. So my goal is to try to do that and try to reach as big of an audience, as wide of an audience as I possibly can. And I'm using YouTube because it just so happens to be a platform where it's not easy to reach an audience, but it's the easiest to be able to not think of that aspect of it. So if I made my own website, who's gonna see that? So YouTube is kind of the answer to that. And, it's something that I'm infinitely grateful for, that I've been able to amass a following. Thomas Morose says, epic, and dropping $2 Canadian. Epic. You're dropping what is that, a Ben Shapiro meme? Is that an epic? This is epic. He's such a fucking nerd. He is such a little fucking nerd. How often do I get demonetized? A lot. I get demonetized fairly fucking often on YouTube, and it sucks. But you gotta, deal with it. Unfortunately, sometimes some of your videos get demonetized for no fucking reason. But I guess it's just part of the game. Again, people have major issues with that. They can't deal with that, and oh my god, I can't do this. Double epic. 5. I'm gonna call those Ramses. You gave me. Thank you for the 5 Canadian Ramses. That's hot, Thomas. I get demonetized for anything, for saying fuck, for even beeps, for making a joke, any sort of sexual remark. If the algorithm catches it, if maybe the voice tracking on YouTube catches that, then you are they demonetize you, and then you kind of have to put a little bit of a claim saying no, this video's safe. But here's the thing: they take like a week to manually review your video, and in that week you're amassing views. You know, you're amassing sort of you're amassing not, but you're amassing views on your video, and that's time wasted because those views could have accounted for the ads. You know. So yeah, no, they're getting fucking legit with their shit, Dan. We got Bravo Exacto. Good morning, El Pig. Much love from Switzerland. Dropping too hot. CHF. CHF. That sounds dirty. That sounds dirty, man. I get demonetized for beeps. Yeah, for beats. Oh, 4. No, but bleeps I think imply that there is questionable content. So you know, unfortunately, I think that's one of the triggering parts of YouTube. Do I like spelling effects? Yeah, I love spelling effects. I have a bunch on the channel, as a matter of fact. When that shit started, you knew right away who made their livings and who were shows when they started censoring themselves for ads. Well, I've, and this is something that we talked about yesterday. I've not reduced, but I've changed a little bit of the content in terms of trying to appeal to a wider audience. I do realize that a lot of people don't enjoy the occasional cunt. They don't enjoy the occasional racist joke. So I didn't necessarily completely change the style of my content, but I reduced the jokes a little bit to try to appeal to more people. Magicians are people that get fucking offended way too easily. So if I'm trying to amass an audience, I'm trying to offend at least as least people as possible. So, so I have kind of tweaked that content a little bit, unfortunately. Is it normal to be a virgin at 14? I mean, can I answer that without sounding like a fucking weirdo? I don't think I can answer that. I don't think I'm comfortable answering that. I think that's a better way to say that. There's another one here. I'm all like, I was just doing a video on trucks backing up. Shit, there's something else here. The tone in which you started your channel put you on your radar. Yeah, but those are the videos that have gotten, those videos haven't gotten as much of attention as the other tutorials. Honestly, I still have those first series on magic, even some of the earlier reviews, and those are probably the least viewed videos on the channel. You know, I think the most viewed one, oddly enough, is the that weird one, the Simon Lavelle trick. Kind of odd that one kind of blew up, but I don't know why. I still don't get why that video blew up. Along with there's another one that's similar, the coin, not the ring on headphones. That one also blew up. Kind of odd. By blew up, I mean like a couple 100,000 views. That's the idea of blowing up for me, you know. So you kind of see the context. Muscle Pass, but that was contextual. Muscle Pass blew up because it was contextual. Everyone was doing that other ones. Do you go back and watch your old videos and cringe? No, man, I fucking laugh watching my old shit. I know that sounds kind of full of myself, but watching any one of my videos, I fucking just sit there and I'm like, that's some funny shit. It's like masturbation. I watch my own videos and I'm like, damn, boy, killing the joke, son. Even this last one and the one that I put up on, what was it, Tuesday, I think? Yeah, Tuesday. I was watching that one again. I was like, huh. I just have it on in the background as I'm doing other stuff, you know, editing pictures or whatever. And I was just hearing myself and I'm like, ha, ha. So, yeah, I found myself laughing like an idiot at my own fucking dumb humor. His older videos alone got me to sub to the channel and stick with this cunt. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I guess, but you know, it depends. We got Fako Shinlim. Here. Oh shit, the fucking lights just fell. Look at that shit. I guess the duct tape. There's a little bit of a spittle in that, so the duct tape kind of fell off there. Fako Shin Lim. I'm gonna call you Fin Lim. Fin Lim. I'm gonna call you that. Let me just say cunt for old days' sake. That's funny. Still looking for card collection round 2. You know, yeah, I that's one of the videos that I have on my list. But the thing is that I've converted it to more of a series. You know, I've converted that more to a series that I want to do, which kind of started unintentionally with the Gentleman Wake. You know. So I really want to do a series of that, and that's something that I want to work on more. I do have another video in that style of card collection with a couple of people that might be interesting. So we'll see that. I wasn't saying the older videos are cringe. More about if I ever look at stuff years ago, I cringe now. Yeah. Especially at least the fuck, man. There was one that was God. There was one, the earlier ones that's like your very first deck was like a little bit of a jingle that I did on that shit. That shit's cringe looking back on it. There's another episode that I did that was, I think, episode 3, where I slip on piss. Ew, that video sucked so hard, man. That video was so fucking cringy looking back on it. It was just this dumb idea where I slipped, and on that, he was an asshole in the beginning. I would say his style. I'm still an asshole. I think I'm still an asshole. Making fun of magicians sporadically, you know, making illusions that they're all fucking loser virgins. I think that's a common theme. But now I just toned it down a tad bit. That was just a conversation I had with X, a couple conversations that I've had with Xavier about that. But you know. He made a lot of sense, to be honest. He made a lot of sense, but just sells out of Cadabra in one day. Like, the fuck does that even mean, dude? What the fuck are you talking about, Kobe Bryant? What's your favorite deck right now? You know, they've been the chicken nuggets for a long time. I think that's one of the ones. I think that's the one that keeps popping up as my favorite, just because of how they look. That fucking sucks, man. That's what I get for having duct tape. Now I just gotta wait for all these bitches to fall down, or just re-duct tape it. But I'm out of duct tape, so. Cadabra Shinlim's new effect with other people. I should know that. Right? I should be on top of my Shinlim lore, but I'm not, unfortunately. I'm very not sort of on the radar when it comes to effects that have come out, which is a good thing, I guess. House tour, maybe. I mean, you've pretty much seen the entirety of the audience. I wonder what Jay Sankey looks like when he's having sex. That might be the greatest fucking thing I've ever heard. God damn it, you've won the chat of the fucking the comment of the entire live stream. Holy shit. Another pondering that I have is, can Evan Era sit Indian style? Can he sit Indian style? I don't know if he can. That's another one. That's in the same idea. What's this? Don't put that pic on mine. Hey Piggy, I'm back. Did you miss me? Yeah, man, I missed Andrew H. No way. Yeah, no way he could sit Indian style. Yeah, you're right. That's 100%. Let me see if I could. Can I do this every stream. I don't think I could do a live stream without potentially trying to dead cut. Bitch. Dead cut at least some of the aces. You know what? We'll start right now. Hold up. I'm gonna officially start mixing these bitches up right now and seeing if I could do this legit. All right, I already spotted a couple. I hope if I could do this one, then that's gonna be pretty accurate. Nope. God damn it. You know what? I'll do it again. Starting right now. I'm gonna start right now. See if I can dead cut these bitches. See if I can dead cut these aces. Even though I just got a wonderful head start. We could do it. We could build this thing together. Standing strong forever. There are other alternative techniques, and I plan to actually, make something of this later on. This is the easiest way to find them. If you just shuffle the deck that way, that's literally the easiest way to find them because, well, if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna say there's one here, right, and then 6 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I meant, there you go, there you go. I was off by 3. That's fine. That happens. That happens. You know what? We'll do it again. We'll try it again. I've had some good runs doing live streams where you dead cut the aces from a legitimately shuffled deck. I've had some good runs. Today's not my day. Today doesn't seem to be my day, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try because what was it? Wayne Gretzky said, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Right? So I'm gonna take some shots. Huh? Common Magician has a good. Well, I have a routine based on a shuffled deck. That's a dead cutting sort of thing. But you're finding the aces that as you show spectators things they should avoid at the card table. That's finally the way that I've probably amassed the easiest and most reliable way. But doing it straight like this is very, very difficult because it's just estimation, it's peaking, and it's finding a bunch of opportunities to peak. But as far as an actual routine, I do have a set routine where they can mix up the cards, they shuffle it up, they hand you the deck cold, and in the context of you showing them different shuffles that are fairly, fairly practical, you could get the aces under your control. That's the routine that I've made for that. But doing it this way is a little bit rough because it's such a close shuffle, and you're only relying on estimating, and you're relying on being able to hopefully peek and cut to the right spots, So here, if I'm not mistaken, I should be in the ballpark here, yeah. Damn it! Yeah, today's not a good day. Today's not a good day. Can I at least do it for... No, okay, yeah, today's not a good day. Today's not a good day. I'm gonna go getting sore sitting Indian style. God damn it, did you peek? Are you butcher? Sorry for spamming this question, but I'm just curious about your opinion. Do you know Masaki Hamaguchi? He's this 15-year-old Japanese kid who does some of the greatest gimmicks. I have not seen him. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is, dude. I'm sorry. I might be uncultured in my magician's gimmick sense, but I don't know who that is. I do have a vanishing cane, but it's not. I don't think it's here. It might be left in might be at my mom's crib. I have the original Fantasio. Pigcake, do you ever volunteer? Volunteer in what sense? Like, helping out the community? I haven't. I haven't in a long, long time. My mom actually used to work at a place where it was fairly simple to volunteer, but I haven't done that in a long time. Am I serious about yeah, I mean, it is going to take a little bit of time, Brian. It is going to take a little bit of time to do that, because this month I'm kind of slammed with a project that I hopefully could come out with by the end of the month. But I do want to do that at least come for next month, or maybe possibly the next month. I would love to do that. Obviously, it would be a joint effort. It'd be Pigcake Presents, whatever you decide to name that thing. But we're going to have to kind of road test it. And, well, at least, yeah, you could road test it, and then we'll talk about it, I guess, privately. But that's something I'm definitely interested in. It's a wonderful method, and it's a wonderful idea. So why not make use of it? It is. Definitely volunteering is rewarding on multiple levels, but I don't know. I guess I am an asshole. I guess I am an asshole, man, because I haven't really gone out of my way to do it in such a long time. Really, you do it in middle school because high school you have to. Middle school, I remember volunteering a lot, even though you wouldn't get anything out of it. High school I did that too for some things that didn't necessarily weren't for requirements. A little bit in college, but I really haven't been on that in a long, long time. I should collab with Ramsey. Yeah, I'm gonna hit him up and be like, "Hey Ramsey, I got a puzzle for you. Let me hit up Butcher. He's gonna come up with a solid puzzle that hopefully is gonna get both of us killed somehow." So Ramsey, come on, man. The Ram and Ham fam. I wanna die. I wanna die. Is there anything else? I think there was another one here that was kind of an interesting thing to get onto, man. Let me see. That was another interesting thing. I'm probably gonna end this in a few, but that was an interesting topic here that I know I skipped over. I tend to do that. Fuck, man. How fuck, dude? That's something else here. Yeah, Ramrod. That's fucking funny. Ramrod. That's a throwback. Holy shit. Maybe that might have been. I guess. Is there anything else? Any other topics of interest before I decide to end this Louis Theroux live stream? Apparently. I don't know if there's another one. Hatch Satch. That's dope. Would you prefer push-off seconds or strike seconds? I guess I'm more of a fan of strike seconds. I think I'm more of a fan of the strike seconds just because they're a lot easier to do. Let me see if I could even do it in a presentable way. Let me see if I could even do it in a presentable way. No, I'm getting two here. God damn it. I prefer the strike, but it's still an active thing that I'm working on, Still an active thing that I'm working on. What's your favorite song at the moment? Shit. You know what? Yo no sé olvidar by Alejandro Fernandez. That's one. That's one that I've heard recently that I'm like, shit, boy. That guy's a banger. That's a banger. That's a club banger. So that's the one I've been rocking out recently. And by rocking out, I mean listening to old Mexican tunes from the 90s. Can I credit you for Man on the Ninth Floor? Because the magician was me to teach it to him. I guess. Yeah, man. I don't see why not. I mean, if you're gonna teach them, it's just a combination of passes and just timing, I guess. So you could say it's mine, but it's not really anything new apart from the combination of misdirection with the passes and stuff. But yeah, just say old Pigcake. It's old Pigcake's trick. John Cena says, suck my ass, but I can't see you, John. How am I going to know what to suck, dude? How am I going to know what to suck if I can't see you, dude? Fucking Cena. Just don't put it on YouTube. Jesus. I'm trying to think if there was I don't think anybody's put, maybe there was that one dude. There was a couple. There was one dude that put my exact tricks. It's happened a couple times. I've seen other people post my exact method of doing certain tricks on their channel. I do remember that. Now that I do remember, it was an Indian kid. He did my exact same fucking handling of a couple tricks, even with the same fucking jokes that I did without the context. It upset me beyond belief. I know, obviously, it's just like, it's a kid trying to do his thing. But this dude fucking copied the exact pattern, the exact method, the exact timing, everything. He copied the jokes. I remember one of them was an ace reveal, and then at the end I found the 5 of hearts. He even copied that. What? Like word for word. Like there's not even a thought into, maybe I should change this up for me. It was just copying it exactly that, man. That kind of annoyed me. What university? I'm not gonna tell you what university, man. I'm gonna tell you what university, son. That's too much info. But yeah, I remember that was kind of an info. But that happened a couple times, not with a couple different people that they pretty much, I put a fucking trick, and then exactly the same method, exactly the same sort of pattern points. And very soon after I uploaded my video, they came up with a video. So that's happened a couple times with other people. Maybe must have been a coincidence. I'm sure he didn't copy it. No, it happened a couple times. It happened with that particular individual. It happened maybe 4 or 5 videos. One was a voodoo trick that he copied, even using a screwdriver as the apparatus where you would burn your thumb. Then one was for the ace reveal where he even used the 5 of hearts. The other one was there's another one, but the dude pretty much just copied it verbatim. And it's what annoyed me wasn't that he was uploading the tricks, it was that he was just, there was no effort. There was negative effort. No, it wasn't even, I don't think it was even monetized, man. It wasn't even monetized. It was just no effort in coming up with your own style of doing that shit. But that's happened a couple times. That's happened a couple times. Not necessarily with one individual. It's happened maybe with like 4 or 5, maybe 6, maybe 6. But, you know, I guess imitation is something that everyone goes through at some point. But straight up copying and then not even putting a fucking modicum of effort to come up with your own style presenting it, just copying, man. Rough, dude. Rough. I'm gonna make a dumpster video. This is crazy, guys. Oh my god, I found Chris Angel deck. I'm gonna leave it right back where I found it because that deck's a piece of shit. That's a fucking great one. Holy shit. I watch that video from time to time just to die a little bit. Unfortunately, I lost access to that dumpster, so I can no longer do that. But I should make a dumpster series. Who the fuck disliked the stream? Probably one of the Australians being upside. That's fucking great, man. The dumpster one was definitely one of my favorite ones. Funny enough, when somebody that I was very, very close to, they found out that I did this thing, you know. The first video that I showed them 2 videos. One was the Evan Era video. The one where I ended by saying, "You're killing magic," and then I grabbed the glasses and smashed them. And then the other one was a dumpster video. So those are the first 2 videos that I showed them because those are the ones that I was fucking happy with, man. I was proud of the way those fucking came up, especially the dumpster one. I thought it was fucking hysterical. And I showed it to this person. They're like, "This is the unfunniest thing I've ever seen. It was fucking disgusting. I didn't laugh at one point. Like, it was fucking disgusting." I'm like, maybe you don't have a good sense. But I remember, yeah, that was a fun one. Those were the first 2 videos I showed this person. Can I show the DPS side jog? Yeah, it's not really a DPS. It's more of just an angle jog. It's more of an angle jog, man. But you're pretty much getting the thing to this position. So it's very simple that you're just pushing down the corner, and that card is going to stick out naturally. So I'm going to bring my finger up. My finger isn't squaring up the card. What's squaring it up is my pinky. Because my pinky is touching the upper right corner, and that's moving the card aside. But I'm doing that at the same time that I'm rubbing with my forefinger to give the impression that I am squaring up that card into the deck, but really it's sticking out over here, you know? And here, I put this on Instagram too. This thing, if you snap, you could get the card to shoot out. I put that on Instagram, so that's kind of an easy thing to do, you know? The card can shoot out, which is kind of dope, but it really depends. It really depends on what you want to use it for. But I like doing it for that, you know, as a sort of card reveal. If you want, you could do the classic J.K. Hartman sort of reveal, so you could cut to it that way. It's a very versatile move, man. It's a very versatile move. That is one of my favorite applications of it because you're using the J.K. Hartman bit to reveal the card. There's another one that's another application of it. What was it? Fuck me, man. Oh, obviously the load. You know, the load. So you're using it to load inside of the card box, just like this. You know, you could do that with, I guess, any sort of object. With a wallet, it might be a little bit iffy, but with the card box, it definitely works pretty well. I would say you saw it in the video. But I do like this angle jog thing. There's so many things you can do from that position. And then even if you have the card face up, you have this wonderful thing where they're hidden. Obviously, it's here because I didn't do it as well. It's kind of a restrictive angle. But you could spread the cards, and the card is hidden in the spread. So that's something you could do. That's kind of fun, all from that angle jog move. So, you know, if you... let's see if I can do it legit this time. See right now? You really can't make it up, right? You can't see the card, and then, you know, you're still able to... Let's see, where is it? Fucking A, there it is. But you're hiding it because of that move. So it's a wonderful little bit of a versatile move. And then even as a control, man, even as a control, you know, you could just get it to that position, be very fair by scoring it up, and still be able to control it right to the top, you know, using the Mahatma. I think even on Patreon, if I'm not mistaken, I taught kind of a Mahatma control on steroids using this idea. You could do it with multiple cards. So if you get, you know, multiple cards, you could actually do the Mahatma control with those 3 cards, controlling them to the top of the deck with, you know, very, very similar techniques. So that's kind of a very interesting move to explore. I'm trying to remember where I saw something similar to that. There was something by, Oz Perlman had a project called Stealing Pips a long time ago where he talks about that. And Daryl had a control where he did this shit. Daryl had a control where he would pretty much stick the cards into the deck, and he would in-jog them this way. So that kind of was another inspiration for, you know, just coming up with different ideas for that move. But yeah, Daryl, man, fucking great dude. Fortunately, another one that was gone way too soon. Well, I'm probably gonna have to end the stream in a bit. It's almost been 2 hours of a solid Magic chat, but that was just to make up for the fact that yesterday I instead had a 45-minute debate on somebody about binary and non-binary in biology. So that's kind of me. This is a makeup stream for that. I know some people yesterday didn't want to necessarily see me or hear me arguing with an individual about my disagreement. So, Black Lives Matter. Really? Should we argue about that? You can't argue about that without seeming racist, unfortunately, because then the argument becomes, you don't understand, you're not black. Yeah, but I could understand social issues. I could understand, you know, again, the argument of saying just because you haven't lived through those shoes, you can't understand it. I could appreciate food, and I don't have to be a chef, you know? I know it's kind of an oversimplification of things, but there's another one here. What's that mean in binary? What's that mean in binary? I can't translate it now. I can't translate that, man. I'm using both of my phones up here. I'm such an asshole. I made that shirt for ages, and I still... Oh, that's funny. Not to sound like Steven Crowder, but you don't understand because you're black. You're not black is pretty racist. I guess, yeah, that is kind of... you are right. Is this stream ending soon? I want to end it. Yeah, I'm probably going to end it at 2 hours. I'm going to end it at 2 hours. So right now, that's 13 minutes away. So I'll end it at a clean 2 hours. So that's probably when I'll end it. But, I mean, yeah, a lot of things when somebody says, hey, you're racist, tend to be racist. So a lot of sentiments of people bringing up race tend to be racist themselves. So that's kind of an interesting thing to you know, bring up in the context of that. It's like you gotta respect this certain race just because I say so. I'm like, that's kind of racist. You know, I think if you're paying too much attention to that, you get caught up in a hole that you're not gonna be able to come out of. Virginity matters. Virginity matters. That's really funny. That's really fucking funny. Only by name. Hey, there you go. Look at that, man. You know what you just did? You just Beetlejuiced. You just fucking Beetlejuiced, dude. Somebody asked for something. You come up. What do you mean by recaps? We talked. I'll keep the stream up. Let me see. Did I just what notification did I get? What notification did I get? I just got. Oh, there was something else there. Yeah, you got Beetlejuice, dude. Can you show the Cardini change? I could do that. I could do the Cardini change right there, right? If this could fucking stay up, even though I don't know who came up with that. I know who came up with that, right? There's a bunch of different ways to do it. You could do it like that, where you flick the card and get it that way. You could do it this way by just kind of like waving your hand over, like that. You know, that's kind of a dope way to do it. So you just wave your hand over like that, and in a flash it changes that way. One way that I played around with snapping to get the card to that position, but at this point you're very restricted with your angles. You are very fucking restricted. So you kind of have to like snap and then hide that card and time it precisely so you snap as the card changes. That's another interesting way to do it. But there's another sort of application of this, if I remember correctly. A cool way is if you need the card reversed in the bottom, you could just do the Cardini change, and that almost acts as a way of getting a card reversed in the bottom. But who came up with that? Who came up with that change? I'm sure everyone has their own different take and variation on that. That's a cool way to practice it, by the way. You could just do it until you exhaust the deck. So right now, you notice how all the cards are face down in the bottom. You do it until you've done the deck full cycle. That's kind of a fun way of practicing the Cardini change. But that's a fun one. That's definitely a fun one to practice and to learn. Top 10 anime betrayals. Shit. Your Cardini on Instagram is fucking crazy. Yeah, it's angles, man. The Cardini one is all angles, but it's such a visual sort of thing. You could also do it with a fan. You know, you could also kind of do it with a fan. So you could kind of do it that way. Now, the cleanup is going to have to be a little bit rough, but it's definitely doable. Definitely doable. Let's see, there's another one here that's kind of hot. Oh. Okay, you asked me if I could show the Cardini change. The pass from this angle is going to look awful, dude. Pass from this angle is going to look pretty bad, you know? So that's not, come on, that's just like kind of shat from it. Stop reading my jokes when you don't know the context. Oh wait, what's my favorite change? There are two, and I'm kind of partial because one of them is the one that I taught on, I don't know if I taught it on YouTube, but it's that thing. Obviously it's the worst angle to do it, but that's the one. I really enjoy that one in particular. Let me see, I think there's another way of doing it. I actually put it on Instagram as a double change. So I put it on Instagram as kind of a double change, you know? That's kind of that dope thing. But, you know, I like that one, and I also like doing the bottom steal one. That's another one that I like. So in transferring the deck from right hand to the left, you just steal the bottom card and kind of wipe it away that way. That's another one that I like a lot. So when it looks good, you know, if you can even make it look like the card vanishes by doing it that way. It's a very pretty color change, you know. So you can kind of get into a sequence that way. But I don't think I taught that on YouTube. I think I taught it maybe on probably the other platform on Patreon. But I did show it on Instagram. It's a wonderful little bit. That was the one that I put on Instagram. So I did it as a double color change, and then I did it on I did it as a single color change. But that one you need the setup of doing that little bit. You see that? You're doing this little bit right here. Right? I kind of fucked that up. I promise I could do it well. Hold up. I promise I could do it well. Right there. Fuck. I'll do it. Stop it. You're making me nervous. You're making me nervous. There you go. See, there you go. Now I nailed it. This one doesn't have a name, man. It doesn't have a name. Maybe pig change. The pig change. The PC change. The DP change. The dual penetration color change. The double penetrazione change. I forgot what it's what else, but I don't have a name for that. I really don't have. When I was younger, I would name things obnoxiously. So I would name all my tricks that I would come up with and all that. I would name them these really extravagant, cringy names. But now I just find myself in the habit of what do you call this shit? I find myself in the habit of just writing the notes down and describing it, which is something that I'm going through a book that I found a PDF of called Professor Hoffman, Modern Magic, right? It's a really old book, and all the names of the tricks are pretty much the effect. So to give you an example, one of their tricks is a transposition of the kings and the sevens, and the title of the trick is to place a pile of kings under a spectator's hand and a pile of sevens on another spectator's hand, and they switch places. That's the name of the trick. That's the name of the trick. There's another one that's like to place the aces in different parts of the deck and slap the cards and have the aces reappear on top of the deck. Those are the names. So they fucking kill me when it comes to those. Oh boy. I bet Xavier and Pigcake don't move their fingers at all when showing their pass, so it looks mighty impressive. Well, I don't think I have a good pass at all, to be honest. Especially seeing Xavier's. I don't think I have a good pass at all. And Pandreas too, seeing his, man, fuck. Especially Xavier's cover pass, that you could see it from pretty much any angle, and it's not detectable. I have a shit pass by comparison. You know, I guess if you're not really comparing it, then I guess I would have a good one. But their passes are just fucking insane, man. Insane. Another one I like doing is the dribble. I really like doing the dribble bit. Greg Wilson has another great one called the up the ladder one. That's kind of a dope one. That's kind of it. But the dribble one's another one that I'm kind of partial to, just for the sake of that. But as far as the standard classic one, man, there's no comparison. Xavier really takes the cake on that motherfucker. That guy is fucking insane. Trying to think of another pass. That's an interesting one, man. I do like the oops control. That's kind of a pass, but it's an open pass. You know, the oops one is kind of a dope one because you know, pretty much place a card, right? You take it, hands off, yada yada yada. You know, you could have picked any one of these cards. Sorry about that. But you could have picked any one of these cards, and of course that card is now second from the top. So that's another one of my favorite little bits. It's more of an open sort of pass, but you're technically using the prophecy move as a pass there. Another great one is the Mahatma. Mahatma control is technically, by definition, a pass. You know, it's kind of an open pass, but still, you're, I guess, passing the cards just in a different style. Brick pass. Yeah, brick pass is one that looks fucking nuts, man. Especially in Pandrea's hands. That motherfucker, he's made some sort of league with the devil, to be honest, to do a pass like that. And consistently and in a row. So he's able to just go, and do a pass. Andrew, I did do a couple passes. As a matter of fact, I did a classic one maybe 10 minutes ago. So when I redo the stream, you should check that up. Because I don't think I could top it. I think I look good. So I'm not going to be able to top that. Marlowe's combination pass? Yeah, that one's a little bit rough. I think that's more of a Herman one, right? It's more of a Herman pass, if I do remember. I remember the old Ninja series, right, with Brad Christian doing like, oh, look, you just... and in squaring the card up with a table, in a very natural action, it's done. All you have to do is just square the card up on your knee. You just have to square it up on your knee, and you could do the pass. You know, I remember Brad Christian talking about those. It's a very natural gesture. All you got to do is just, I'm just going to spread the cards. I remember the old Ninja stuff. He would do stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, dude? Yeah? All right, Brad. Oh, that's a fun one, man. There's another. I'm trying to think of a more open pass, man. X had that the control that he put on his channel recently. That's a fucking phenomenal one. Another one is Lee Asher's losing control. What a beautiful move, man. What a beautiful move. Look that up if you if you don't know what that is. But that is an old one, man. Shit, it's an old one, but it's a beautiful sort of control. Look that up when you get the chance. Losing control by what's his fucking name? Losing Control by Lee Asher. There you go. He's a wonderful magician. I think out of might be Fort Lauderdale now. The bus pass. Worst statue when you need it. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here, man. It's been 2 hours. It's been a fun one. I need to wake up early, get some shit done. But thank you guys for joining along, man. Make sure to follow Pigcake Plus on Instagram. That's the new channel, a new sort of thing I started there. There isn't a video tomorrow, but there is going to be a video on Saturday. Hopefully, if I could do that. Again, thank you guys for sticking along, man. I know it's kind of dumb listening to a magician ramble for 2 hours, but I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate you guys watching my shit. Anything else I need to show? Not really. Just watch today's video, man. That was a hot video. Hot and fun. Fresh and ready. It's going to get you pussy. It's not going to get you pussy at all. But you know what? It might get you thinking in the right way. That's a better thing. It might get you thinking in a better way. I'm going to go figure out different ways to hopefully use a vape pen, but use it to write my will. Use it to write my will.